So even if you realize your marriage is toxic, that you're married to a narcissistic spouse, how do you get the courage to leave? I get what that feels like. You don't think you have the wherewithal. You've been so compromised. Your self-esteem has been so diminished. Your confidence is so low because of the abuse you've suffered that you just don't see any way out. You don't see how you can possibly leave. I was right there too. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how I found the courage to leave my toxic narcissistic spouse. So hopefully this will give you the courage to do the same thing. Before we get started though, will you take a moment to subscribe to my channel? That's how I'm going to reach the people who really need to get this information. So you won't be just helping me, you'll be helping a lot of other people too. So when my 10-year marriage finally came to its demise, that was 20 years ago. It was a long time ago. It was a very different landscape back then. I didn't have the resources you have. I didn't have Google. I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have any of the information that's so readily available right now. There certainly weren't coaches around narcissistic abuse. And also, nobody even knew what the word narcissism meant back then. It's so mainstream today, it's hard to believe that 20 years ago, it wasn't a word that was used. It took my going to the library to research psychology books to figure out what in the heck was wrong with my husband, why he acted the way he did, why he did the things he did. I had to research it myself. So it wasn't something that you could just talk about. I was so humiliated, embarrassed, ashamed of the way I was being treated, of what was going on in my home, of the abuse, the financial abuse, the control, the verbal abuse, the crazy making behaviors. I couldn't tell anyone. Well, I could have, but I wouldn't tell anyone, not even my closest friends or family. I kept it all to myself because I thought I had failed. I thought it was my fault. I certainly was told by the narcissist that everything was my fault. So I believed it. And I thought, I made this mess. I'm going to have to fix it. I put all the burden on myself to fix the marriage and make things right. So if you're in that place where I was, where you've been abused verbally, emotionally, psychologically, financially, spiritually, sexually, whatever way, whatever kind of abuse it is for you, mine was verbal, emotional, definitely financial, but it wasn't physical. So back then, I did not think it was abuse. And New York State didn't think it was abuse either, because you had to have grounds for divorce back then. And where I live then and now in New York, there were no grounds for me to get a divorce. So not only did I think I had to stay, the laws told me that I had to stay as well. So it was just something I thought I had to fix. And I tried. The more I tried, the more abusive the situation became. If you're in that situation, then you know that it makes you sick, physically sick. Your body cannot withstand that level of abuse for that long of a period without a break. So, just like animals, we go into fight or flight when there's a predator, when we feel attacked or stressed. Just like the deer in the woods, you see a predator, that deer goes into fight or flight, which means its whole body chemistry changes to save its life, to find a way out, to run faster. So it's in a more compromised state during that period. But as soon as the predator's gone, the deer goes right back to its normal body chemistry as if nothing ever happened. But we don't ever get a chance to go back to normal. We are constantly in that very stressed out fight or flight chemical place, and it wears down our body after a while. It compromises everything else to try to stay in that chemistry. So what happens is, whatever your weakest part is, that's what will get attacked first. So for some people, it's migraines, back pain. For me, it was gastrointestinal problems. I would have debilitating stomach pains, just like labor pain size pains. If I was driving a car, I would have to pull over. It was totally debilitating. I couldn't eat. Everything hurt. I went to doctors. They couldn't find anything wrong. So that is why you can't stay for a lifetime in this sort of situation, because your body will break down and you will get very, very sick. Finally, one day, I went to a new doctor in hopes of finding some answers, and this doctor looked at things differently, thank God. He started asking me questions not only about my diet, which was what everyone else was asking me about, but also about my life, about what was going on. And I guess he just had the right demeanor where I opened up a little bit about some of the stress I was under. And he recommended that I talk to a therapist and set an appointment up for me with someone associated with his office, because I doubt if I would have gone out and sought a therapist out and gone on my own. First of all, because my self-esteem was so low, I wouldn't have gone out to take care of myself that way. I didn't think I was worthy or worthwhile at that point, because that's what happens when you've been psychologically abused for long periods of time, but also for fear that my husband would find out. I mean, certainly he wouldn't be okay with my talking to a therapist about what was going on inside our home. So thank goodness for that doctor. I actually did go to the therapist, and let me tell you, she was not a great therapist. And even she didn't really get to the core of what was going on, but just having that little window of time to talk to someone freely, without fear of it getting back to my husband or repercussions from that was the game changer for me, that I started hearing myself talk and thinking more rationally about what was going on in this situation. So that's my message to you. Now, if this pretty bad therapist was able to make that change for me, imagine what a good therapist, or a coach in this case for you, would do. I mean, there certainly were no coaches back then. Now you have someone, not just me, other people too, doing this work, who understands where you are, what you're going through, what narcissistic abuse feels like, and who's gone through the whole thing that you're going through, the whole 9 yards, in the marriage, leaving the marriage, on the other side of the marriage, co-parenting, remarriage, all the things that you're facing, and can hold your hand through it, and can really understand your struggles, and can give you the advice that you need to hear when you need to hear it, and can meet you where you are, know exactly why you're not able to do some of the things that other people might think you should be doing. You're diminished, you're compromised. We get that. So that's my message, that you have resources. You have so many more resources that didn't even exist when I was in your spot. So take advantage of them. Watch all the YouTube videos, Google search all the terms, all the things. Get as much information as you can, but talk to someone. Get someone to help you. You should not have to go through this alone. It is very, very hard to do this in a vacuum because you've been put into a spot that is hard to understand to an average person. So get the help, reach out. You can book a free call with me. I have a group program if that's what you are looking for that kind of support. I have one-on-one coaching as well. There are lots of things available for you. I don't want you to be where I was, totally alone and so sick, and for really no reason for it to have gone on for so long. So I hope that you will take me up on this offer for a free session to get the ball rolling and to get you looking for some help to get out of this really toxic situation. So that is my insight into how I found the courage to leave my toxic marriage 20 years ago, and I hope that helps you. There will be a link in the description below where you can go right to my calendar if you'd like to book that free call. And if this video was helpful, will you please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I've linked a couple of other videos here that I think you might also like, so I hope to see you in the next video.